Hey, what is happening, my friends? It is Jonathan here, and I'm super excited to be making today's video because, wow, I mean, how do I even put this into words? The conversation, the internal conversation that happens in all of our lives around money, how important this actually is, how important, how utterly important is this internal conversation that is always happening inside of us about money. How it shapes our lives, how it shapes our relationships, how it shapes our fears, how it shapes our hopes, how it shapes every stinking thing about us. It shapes our economy, it shapes so much. Yet, we seldom really view money in the fact that we have this extensive relationship with it as a relationship. The primary question that I'm going to ask you today, and that the action steps I'm going to encourage you to take in today's training video, which is really a very powerful question, is what is your relationship with money? What is your personal relationship with money? Does your relationship with money suck? You know, in other words, are you at ends? Are you fighting? Are you in a bad relationship with money right now? From what mindset do you approach all your interactions with money? From what place in your heart do you approach your interactions with money? Is your relationship with money actually aligned with your soul principles as well? These are all a bunch of things that I'm going to ask you and we're going to dive into in today's video. But first, I want to hold this book up to you. This is the current book that I am reading. It is called The Soul of Money, and it is by the absolutely fantastic Lynn Twist, with her recommendation from Deepak Chopra up here, who I had the wonderful fortune of meeting a few weeks ago, and she even was so nice as to have signed the copy of this book for me. In any case, I highly, highly recommend that everyone, while you're watching this video right now or right after you're done, go to Amazon and pick up a copy of The Soul of Money, because this is one of the most beautiful books that I have ever read about money. Period and end of story. This book actually gets to the soul of money. So many other books out there are talking about how to get more, acquire more, money, 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 get, attract it, blah, 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 blah. How often do we really ask this question? What's the soul of money? How often do we really dive deep into our true relationship with money and question some of the unconscious beliefs, the unconscious assumptions that we all have around money, which Lynn has done the most beautiful job, I'm kidding you not, the most beautiful job I think I've ever seen anyone do. We're really addressing some of the core issues that I think cause people so much misery surrounding money. And the fact that no matter how much money you have, I mean, you could literally have no money, and if you let go of these false assumptions and these false core beliefs, you will be utterly happy. You will be utterly at peace and liberated and rich beyond imagination, really, because true wealth, true richness has nothing to do with money. In fact, I was laying out in my yard earlier today, just soaking up some sunshine here in San Diego, and I started laughing. You would have thought I was a crazy person. I had this realization. I'm cracking up. I'm hysterically laughing all by myself because I realized no one on the planet can be any more rich than anyone else. It was like this beautiful realization that no one can be more rich than anyone else. All these people who think they're richer or they have more or whatever, it's a total crock of crap. Because the true richness, what truly actually equals wealth, is a divine heritage. It's something that we all inherited from the universe itself. The human spirit, literally the human spirit, is the wealthiest, most abundant resource that any being, any human could ever even hope for. And by divine birthright, you already have it. You already have access to the most infinite and abundant enjoyable riches that you could ever imagine, and it is your human spirit. And if you don't realize that at this point, if I say that and that's just words to you or an idea or a concept, then you have a lot of journeying and inner discovery to do, because it is not just words, and it is not just a concept, and it is not just some, thing that others can realize and experience, but you can't. It is the divine birthright of every single human being on this planet to discover the innate richness, abundance, joy, creativity, and just pure exuberance that is our spirit, that is our very inner being. And that's the whole freaking joke. I mean, that is the joke. It's that everyone is chasing their tail, chasing their freaking tail, like a dog going like this, looking for this thing that's going to make them happy, looking for this thing that's going to make them rich. And lo and freaking behold, the entire time, it's your very own spirit. It's inside of you. The jewels, the gold, the crown, everything is inside of you. And we're chasing our spirit. Now, this has a very practical, implication to it as well, which is that once you realize this, okay, and I feel very thankful because I think I really realized about 6 years ago, I had an awakening that no amount of money was really going to make me happy in life. I had this awakening. I was like, my life and my love of myself can never be equated to money. Money will never be more important than just sort of this commitment that I had to living my soul's purpose to be here, right? Like, what does my freaking soul want? What do I really want? And I realized that money could never really bring it. I mean, money could be part of it. Money could be a part of it is. I mean, money is clearly an integral relationship we all have in life. But in and of itself, if money was lacking the alignment of my soul's mission to it, if money was lacking soulful embodiment, then essentially I was lost. I was miserable. And even if I had money, which I actually did, I had money and I was making money. Even if I had it, I was miserable. Just miserable. It didn't bring me any joy. So I had this awakening. And it was during this period of awakening that I realized that I wanted to take up a cause in my life. I realized that it wasn't so much, my mission in life was not to live this status quo, like American, rhetoric dream that I feel like we were sold. I realized that my mission in life was not to go to college, graduate from college with a $200,000 bill, spend the next 40 years of my life on a hamster wheel working to pay off that bill and working to get a whole bunch of stuff that I think I need because that's what the TV told me is going to make me feel good about myself. And as long as I have a car that's as nice enough as my neighbors and their neighbors, and as long as I am going on vacation and it competes with everybody else, and as long as I look good, then I can feel good about myself because I'm societally acceptable and worthwhile, and I can spend the next 50 years of my life working a job that may not even mean crap to me, spinning on a freaking hamster wheel to keep up an image just so that I can appear good enough in other people's eyes and feel good about myself and hopefully die with enough money to retire on, or live with enough money to retire on. And maybe sometime way down the road in the future, then this ubiquitous then day, I will finally be at peace and happy with money. Give me a break. Thank you, God, if I can thank God, for the awakening and realization that that was not what I was personally meant to live. And regardless of where any of us are in the path, we can have this awakening at any time. We can have it at any stinking time. We can just wake up and realize that none of those things define us, and that our relationship with money is actually a sacred thing. And that we can use our relationship with money, with work, with our time here on this planet, with everything that we want to do, to really fulfill our deepest soul's desires. And in fact, if money is not doing that, then we're never really going to be satisfied with our money. We're always going to feel that we need more. No matter how much we freaking have, we need more. It's never enough. And this is fascinating because I've been privy at this point to know some very wealthy people, to be in circles of influence that really, people make a lot of money. Okay, I know a lot of people who make a lot of money. And it's fascinating. And I find myself caught in this trap all the time as well, of thinking that no matter how much money we make, we always need more. It's never enough. And Lynn has done such a beautiful job really bringing us deep inside the psychology of more is better. There's never enough. And that's just the way it is, because people have this another unconscious assumption that, oh, this is just the way it is. This is the world is. This is the way it is. You can't do anything about it. Bull crap. That is the biggest excuse I've ever heard. The next time you hear somebody tell you it's just the way it is as an excuse, as a justification for why something exists in the world, look them in the eye and say, it's just the way it is because people like you believe it's just the way it is. But the people like Dr. Martin Luther King, who didn't believe it's just the way it is, that there actually could be freedom and equality for all, are the reason why anything beautiful, good, just, and amazing has ever happened to humanity. The people that perpetuate the it's just the way it is are the reason why life stagnates and why suffering continues to prevail all over this planet. The people who realize that, wait a minute, it's not just the way it is. Life is a dynamic thing that I can change at any time, that I am worth something, that my contributions, that my value, that what I have to offer the world is meaningful, it's significant, it's important, and it actually does make a difference. Those are the people who really get it, who really live and embody a soul-fulfilled life. In any case, I was talking about how crazy it is that even when you're making lots of money, if you haven't questioned the underlying assumptions of scarcity, that's really what it boils down to, of scarcity. It is two different mindsets. It is the mindset of scarcity, and it is the mindset of sufficiency, or which we could also call abundance. And in our life, we get to choose which of these two mindsets we want to live from. Some of the wealthiest people on this planet continue to live from the mindset of scarcity every single day of their lives. No matter how much money they have, it's never enough. No matter how much money they have, they're afraid of losing it. No matter how much money they have, they need more. Every day, some of the wealthiest people on the planet continue to live in the mindset of scarcity. Scarcity is really implies a sort of poverty. A lot of times we think of poverty and we equate poverty to how much money you have, right? And then we assign a worth to it. Oh, poverty or impoverishedness equals low value, right? Money, if people have money, equals high value. Again, that's another unquestioned assumption of our culture and of our world's culture that is total bullcrap. Because in truth, anybody who's living from a mindset of scarcity, even if you're the richest damn person on this planet, is actually living in a sort of internal poverty. The place that they are living from, what they feel inside, is poverty. They're coming from a lack, a mindset of lack. And consequently, you could have a person who's living on the streets in some barren, impoverished area, impoverished in quotes area, who's living from this place of sufficiency, who inside of themselves, even if they just have enough to survive every day, feels that I have enough. My needs are taken care of. I have all that I can need. I'm eating, I'm warm, I have love in my life, family, friends. I'm totally taken care of. I have enough. That person right there is richer than that wealthy individual, even the wealthiest individual in the world, who thinks that they need more. It is a freaking comedy. It really is a comedy. How backwards our minds have been twisted with these concepts around money. I'm promising you, that person who feels like they have enough is actually more fulfilled and is more peaceful and happy and content with life than the person who is as rich as could be who feels like they need more. Because in actuality, money is nothing. It's a piece of paper. It's a representation. What dictates our satisfaction and joy in life is how we feel. It is the way we approach life. It is the joy and abundance that we have inside that determines whether or not we enjoy life. It's impossible to truthfully feel safe, to truthfully feel comfortable, and to truthfully enjoy life if deep down inside you, no matter how much money you have, you feel that you always need more and that you don't have enough and you're afraid of losing what you have. It is impossible to be at peace with life as much as the person, irregardless of whether they're a billionaire or they live on the streets, feels like, I have enough. I have enough. Lily, what are you doing, sweetheart? Come here. Not time for you to make your appearance. It's my little kitty Lily here. Do you get the feel of that? And leave me your comment below if you hopefully just had an aha moment. I want to know if you really feel the significance of what I just shared with you. Because that's really, I mean, even for me, myself, just listening to it right now, like that's one of the most significant realizations I think you can have in life and in our money culture. Is like, oh my God, the second that I feel and transition my entire way of being, thinking, feeling about life to I have enough. I have enough. This is plenty. You are free. You are wealthy. You are abundant. You are rich. Like, richer than a guy with $1 billion thinking, you know, terrified if the stock market's going to crash tomorrow and worried that he's going to lose all this and feeling like he needs to stress out over mergers and deals because he doesn't have enough. I mean, it's like this cosmic joke. It really is. In any case, what I have found reading this book is that, number one, I'm going to make a ridiculous amount of money in my life. Like, I'm going to be responsible for generating a ridiculous amount of money in my life. Like, I literally feel billions of dollars, like, on the horizon, like, over the course of my lifetime. Yet, all of it is imbued with soul principle. That the money itself means nothing to me almost. It is a sheer expression of what I want to do with my life. It's a sheer expression of what is the highest contribution that I can make with my life on this planet. I want to contribute as much as humanly possible. And because the particular contribution that I want to make has to do with building organizations, with creating foundations, with being a part of different movements, environmental movements, social justice movements, political movements, all these different things, it just so happens to take form in the sense of me wanting to create a lot of money to do this stuff with. That just so happens to be the way it takes form, okay? Whatever way it takes form for you, though, is completely perfect. It's completely perfect. If you feel that your soul is aligned with the path of making a lot of money, come on, sweetheart, come on, get down there. If you feel that your soul is aligned with the path of making a lot of money, and making a lot of money is going to help you live your soul commitments and what you really feel you're here to do, by all means, you should clearly build as big of a business as possible, be as humanly successful as possible, I mean, go all out. I know I am, because I know that it's part of my path. But the most important thing that I've taken from all of this and from my life's journey and growth up to this point, and these wonderful experiences that I've been able to have in my life, is just that this is what really matters. That I have enough. That once I make the switch from living in this mindset of coming from scarcity. Am I coming from scarcity with my relationship with money? Do I feel like, you know, there's not enough? Do I feel like it's me versus you? Do I feel like, you know, this race against time? Do I feel all these things which are hallmarks of coming from scarcity? Am I fearful, worried? Do I feel I need to hoard my money? All these different things, you know, am I afraid to give? Am I afraid to open myself up? That's all a sign of the fact that you are coming from scarcity and you are living from a place of scarcity. And even if you have money, you're poor. Compared to the second I change everything within myself and I begin to come from a place of sufficiency, where I look at the world around me and I say, you know what? There's freaking enough here. I don't need more. I have enough. I mean, there's plenty in my life. You know, things are really being taken care of. And I literally just begin to see the world that way. I'm rich. I'm wealthy, regardless of if I have a dime in the bank or $1 billion. I mean, it's amazing. And then from that place, you're so much more detached. You know what I mean? You're not afraid at that point. You know, you're able to focus on your commitment, on your business, on your job, on your work, whatever it might be, but without fear in your heart, without this clenched little fist, this tight little ball surrounding money, this ball of nervousness and worry and greed and envy and jealousy and all these really just wretched feelings that no one likes to feel, but we create ourselves because we're attached and we're coming from a place of scarcity rather than a place of sufficiency. Make the freaking switch. Once you make that switch, it is amazing what will happen in your life. It's amazing how you will approach money, how much more lightness, ease, and joy that you will feel in your interactions with money, in your future, and everything. And truthfully, we're so blessed. 86% of the world, I'm not kidding you guys, 86% of the world, take this to heart right now, 86% of the world's population lives every single day without food in a refrigerator, without clothes in any sort of stash pile, without warmth, without any savings account, nothing. 86% of the world lives like that every day. So if you're not living like that every day, meaning you've got some food in a refrigerator, you've got some clothes stashed up, you've got, you know, a house, warmth, and, you know, all these other things, if you can't find a place of sufficiency within yourself and shift your mindset to say, wow, I really do have enough, I really do have enough, then you're going to suffer. There's something you got to really investigate that, because, you know, there's a blindness, like a big blindness. Like if you're part of the 14% and can't see, you know, outside of that, big blindness in your life. And I would wager to say that you are extremely self-focused, and you probably should like go volunteer at a charity, just do something outside of yourself, you know, really make an effort to get outside of yourself, to expand your whole horizon of yourself, to encompass, you know, so much more of what's actually out there. So I know a lot of deep things communicated. I'm just, you know, I love communicating these things because I'm going through these processes myself, and I'm going to move into the sunlight here. And always learning, always growing, always experiencing these things. And again, highly recommend you pick up this book, The Soul of Money. It is absolutely fantastic, by Lynn Twist. Almost done with it, and I've just loved it up until this point. I'll leave you with a couple things here that Lynn mentioned that I thought were just beautiful. I mean, there's so many different things, but she's talking about how it's possible to rewrite and consciously rescript our responses surrounding money to include the inspiration we need to ground ourselves around money. So just a few things she said here. Money is like water. It can be a conduit for commitment, a currency of love. Money moving in the direction of our highest commitments nourishes our world and ourselves. What you appreciate appreciates. When you make a difference with what you have, it expands. Collaboration creates prosperity. True abundance flows from enough, never from more. Money carries our intention. This is so key. Money carries our intention. If we use it with integrity, then it carries integrity forward. Know the flow. Take responsibility for the way your money moves in the world. Meaning, know the consequences of your money. Where is your money coming from? Is your money coming from unscrupulous places? Like, are you working for companies that are totally destroying our planet and lots of other stuff? Does that feel soul fulfilling? Maybe look for another job. You know the flow. Know where the money comes from. Is it coming from damaging places? Is it going to very damaging places? Are you spending your money on products, services, companies that have no respect for the environment, that aren't, respecting human rights and labor and all these other things? Know the flow of your money. That's a true way to come into super integrity and soul alignment with money. Because so often we subconsciously just say to ourselves, well, it doesn't really matter. Everybody else is doing it. I can't make a difference. So we willingly participate in really horrendous crimes surrounding money. I mean, horrendous crimes. And they're crimes that, the biggest and most powerful companies in the world are getting away with. They are crimes nonetheless, my friends. Crimes. If you have, unless you have willfully tried to close your eyes to what's gone on in the world in the last, 5,000 years, there's been a lot of crimes committed around money. I could go on for hours and talk about how some of the most well-known corporations in the world have committed some of the most barbaric crimes surrounding money that I think I've ever heard of. Everywhere from companies like Coca-Cola to Nike to so many more. I don't support those companies, just FYI. I'm very conscious about the companies that I send my money to, because if I know a company is employing, tactics to literally, keep nations poor and drive nations into poverty so they can come in there and install sweatshops and factories and pay people pennies, literally pennies, and drive them to literally misery, pollute their lands, no respect, no appreciation, pay off their government officials. I mean, my eyes aren't closed. If I know this is happening, which I do, then I'm not supporting those companies. I will not have the money that is flowing through me be imbued with any of those principles. And I'm telling you right now, if you want to bring your life into a higher integrity, in a true soulful integrity with your connection with everyone on this planet, then you darn well better do the same thing. Let your soul inform your money, and your money express your soul. Access your assets, not only money, but also your character and capabilities, your relationships and other non-money resources. And that was actually another one of the most beautiful things Lynn talked about, was really how to access your assets and all of the assets we have that don't really have anything to do with money. So with that being said, my friends, I've given everybody a whole bunch to think about. I highly recommend to keep the conversation going within your own self surrounding your relationship with money and what you want money to represent in your life. You pick up a copy of her book. I'll throw a link underneath. And remember that it's your choice. At the end of the day, this is your life and it's your choice. And I make choices based on how I feel and what my life is like and what resonates with me, but those are just my choices and those just pertain to me, and those are just what I feel, my causes, my visions, and what I want my money to mean and represent in life. But you get to choose the same thing. You get to look deep inside yourself and analyze this incredibly important relationship that we all have with money in our lives. And you get to determine what you want that relationship to look like. Do you want it to always be coming from a place of scarcity, or do you want it to always be coming from a place of sufficiency? Do you want your relationship with money to represent your fears, your greed, your scarcity, or do you want it to represent your true soulful qualities, what you really want to do with your life while you're here on this planet and all these other different things? You get to make that choice. So we all get to make that choice. And I'm telling you right now that this is the future. We're moving into a future where no longer all these unconscious assumptions around money going to remain unconscious. We're moving into bringing it all into the light. We are making choices that are more aligned with meaning, with soul, and that really leads to an all-around more fulfilling life. And these are the things that have been lacking in our society. These are the reasons why there's so much superficiality. There's more people popping, pills to cure themselves from depression than have ever existed before, and all these other things. It's all a result of the fact that we're disconnected from really living a soulful life, from really living a life that's connected to our soul, connected to our meaning, connected to our purpose, connected to love, connected to ourselves. And this is all part of the equation. And again, I could probably keep talking for a long time, but I super appreciate you guys taking the time to hang out with me and Lily here today. You sweet little kitty. Go pick up a copy of the book, and I can't wait to come back and share more with you guys in a bit. Ciao.